Hi guys! I'm JC. If you are watching this, that means I got the guts to post it online. Ooh, it's 3:56 in the morning, and I just got done filming the actual facts part of this because I had to do that first since I was dying trying to film an intro. What did I say? When I watch a new person or when I want to get attached to a new YouTuber person or so, I always am curious about the person they are, or stupid random stuff that I think is important. Stupid random stuff that I think is important that I would want to know about them, I mean. So I made a list of 16 things just random things about me that I'm like, oh, what's a random fact about me, So if anyone would want to see that, or if ever, anyone came to my channel and was like, hey, I want to know who this is, because that's something I do all the time, that I would have a first video at least to be a bunch of random stuff. So hope you enjoy. Number 1, I have a huge phobia of lying, and it's just something I think that stems from me being religious, that every time I think I'm lying or I'm not sure about an information, I'll always be like, oh, hey, I might be lying, I don't know. And it's kind of annoying to it's kind of annoying to other people and myself, but also, it's not something I can really control. Or maybe it is, I can get over it. Number 2, my favorite game series, or my favorite games my favorite series of games is Dynasty Warriors, and my favorite game of it used to for sure be Dynasty Warriors 8, but now I think since I've played Dynasty Warriors 7, it's the 7th game that's my favorite. And it's not I've recognized now that I've played more games as I've grown up that it's not my favorite series because it's good necessarily. The story is great, I love a good story, but it's my favorite because it has such nostalgic, it's so nostalgic to me because I started playing the game when I was very young, maybe 9, 13-ish. I don't know, that's a long age, isn't it? But from 9 to 13, I started playing the game, and I was like, oh, I actually really like this, and it's kind of what introduced me to games. It was my older brother's game, and I started playing it, and that's something I really liked. Number 3, this is a recent favorite because I just read it this month. My favorite book is called Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, and I think it's because she's questionably my favorite author. Some of her stuff seems very it's very trashy, and I recognize that, but maybe this book is my new favorite because it was actually pretty good. And normally I hate her main characters, but this time I really liked the woman, and I found I could really relate to her on a personal level sometimes, in her relationship dynamic I really related to too. It was just a really great, read. And I don't want to spoil her. If you plan to ever read the book, just, skip a little ahead. There's a big war at the end of the book, and I always love a big war at the end of something. It's just so, I don't know, it gives us something to lead up to, and it was very interesting to see. It's always very interesting for me to see how, everything comes up together, and the way they did it is just so, the way Sarah J. Maas wrote it, I feel that specific battle could be made into a whole video game. It was just, there were portals and stuff. It was very interesting. Number 4, my favorite book series is tied between Suzanne Collins's Gregor the Overlander and Sarah J. Maas's, who I mentioned before, Throne of Glass series. The Gregor the Overlander series I read first in 5th grade, it was a part of a school thing, and I very much so enjoyed it then. And I got randomly curious recently, and I was like, hey, maybe I should check this out again, recently being last year. And it's a middle grader, it's younger book series, and it still held up after so many years of not hearing it or reading it. It still held up, and it was really great, and I really appreciated that. And it was just it's still a good story. And Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas is my favorite because I think, like I said in my previous point, Sarah J. Maas books can be very trashy, not lewd or anything, or well, sometimes, but the writing is kind of cheesy, or the main characters can be very annoying. And I think the reason I like the series is because I started reading it in 7th grade, and it's very, I was very depressed in 7th grade, as I think a lot of people were, and reading about a woman who was so, like, powerful and always gave it her all and stuff, I don't know, it was just very motivating to 7th grade me, and I think I always will have the love for the series because of that, you know, previous attachment. My favorite K-pop girl group is G-Idol. I know that might be, like, controversial if you know their past, but I don't really actually know very much about it. But I got into K-pop at a very young age, kind of. Like, my first exposure to K-pop was by hehe, her song 123, when I found out about it from my cousins. And it was very, you know, I didn't even recognize when I heard K-pop that it was, like, music in another language. I just thought it was, you know, different sounding music. But I feel G-Idol has, like, a very large range of, like, sounds that they can go through. Like, they have their, like, sultry, you know, stuff, and then they have, like, hip-hop, or, like, you know, love songs, but they don't sound, you know, like your typical love song, and I think that's really cool, and their range is very nice. And the leader, Soyeon, she produces, I think, every single one of their songs is either produced by Soyeon or someone in the band, or like a combination of Soyeon and like an outside producer. And I really love when musicians have that like personal touch of, you know, like, hey, I'm gonna help create this for my band. Next thing, I prefer DC to Marvel, and I know that's like a really rare, you know, occurrence, especially nowadays with all the Marvel movies, which I really love, and I've recently begun to like actually watch them and stuff, and I really enjoy it. But I enjoy DC because when I was young, we would always go to the library, right? This was back when you could, people, like, I don't know if people still use DVDs. I never had a TV when I was growing up. Another fact, but that's not what I listed. We would go to the library and they had like DVDs, right? And my dad would let us pick out some that we could like play at the computer at home. And I got like the Justice ones, and I got these a lot. And it was just so, like, watching superheroes at a young age, I don't know, I think it's very good for, I don't know, your confidence or your mind or whatever, because you get to see people like fighting for good and good always winning, you know? And I think that's a very good thing to like think about as a kid, that, you know, good or righteousness or whatever will always prevail. And I don't know, I guess it's another thing, like my favorite video games, that's just nostalgic to me, so I like it and stuff. My next thing is that, 3 of my fingers are the same size. Yeah. Oh, I haven't put lotion on the puppy like that. I don't know, there's a Filipino superstition that I've heard, because, you know, I'm Filipino, that this is supposed to be lucky, like the same sizes. I guess when they see a baby with this, like, this thing, they're like, oh, it's lucky. I don't know where the luck is. It's not played out in my life yet, but it's the same, you know, on both hands, except when I like bend it. Oh, sorry, it's good stiff. Ooh, see, they're not. This one's a little longer on both of them when I bend it, but yeah, they're the same. My favorite color is purple. I don't know why. Oh, I guess you could see it, you know, because my wall is purple. So are the other ones too. They're all purple. It's been that way since I was young. Never had a reason. Not even sure purple, the color, looks good on me, but, you know, I like it. This one. I tried to be quirky by doing this, but I can't remember. I don't want to lie. I used to hate the smell of vanilla, or at least pretend to, because I described it or thought of it as like the smell of someone trying too hard, you know? I don't know if that will make sense, but that's how I thought of it, and I described it to people. But like as of late, I really love the smell of vanilla, and I think it smells soft, if that makes sense. I don't know. That it smells like fresh laundry, you know? Something like that. The longest I've gone without showering is a week, if I remember right. And this was in middle school, again, when I was depressed, as everybody is. I didn't know that then. I thought I was just being like, ooh, I'm gonna see how long I can shower without, or I can go without showering. But, you know, it was a week. And I even remember my parents being like, ew, this is kind of gross, you should shower, like, your hair is so greasy. And I'm like, I'm making a stand. I'm just seeing how long I can go. But yeah, it was so disgusting. I had my hair in like the same crusty ponytail for a week well, not crusty, it was greasy, but I would like just put it up, you know, and grab it and just put it, then brush it in the same, and the hair would like stick because it was that greasy, and when I took it out, it like stayed. It was a mess. My favorite food that's not, I'm half Filipino, so I have a favorite Filipino food, and I have a favorite like white people food. It's mac and cheese with Vienna sausage cut up and put in it, and it has been the same way. That has been my favorite food since preschool, because I know that because we had this thing in preschool, I guess, where your kid would write out like their favorite meal, and the mom would send it, you know, and they made a cookbook for the moms. It was a really cute idea. In retrospect, I didn't know it was cute then. But I put Vienna sausage and mac and cheese as my favorite meal in preschool, and it's still the same. But sometimes, you know, I'll put tuna in it now, or hot dog, you know, anything like that is good. Naked mac and cheese, you know. My favorite Filipino food is caldereta, and it used to be sinigang, but I like caldereta the best now. It's just that with rice, you know, the beef, or whatever my dad uses, I'm not sure. I want to visit Rome so I can see the Colosseum. That's my, what is this number? 13th fact. I have wanted this, I think, for the longest time now. I don't remember when I actually started wanting it, but maybe it was around the time I started watching documentaries. I'm sorry, I was so off track. I want to go on my honeymoon there, if possible, you know, or if not, I want to go there someday so I can see the Colosseum. Like, that is one of my biggest desires. I think it would be just so cool to see it. To be like, oh, I'm in a place that's like thousands of years old. People have fought here, you know, like all the stuff, like how they had naval battles in the Colosseum. I think that's just so cool and interesting. I'm reading it off. Yes, you know. 14. I haven't been saying the numbers now until now, I'm sorry. My 14th fact is that I used to have these flip-flops in elementary school, in kindergarten to be exact. They were like wedge flip-flops, and they were turquoise, and they had like wood in the middle. I don't know if that makes, in like the where you put your foot, I don't know if that makes sense, but I would wear those and I would think that I had like super speed or something, because I thought, you know, that they gave me superpowers and I could run a lot faster than normal in those flip-flops. I don't know, I think it's cute. I think it's cute that the memory is stuck with me this far, you know, because no one actually has superpowers when they put on their, you know, special elementary school flip-flops. Number 15. My favorite Western group, because I said my favorite K-pop group already. My favorite Western group is Little Mix, and it has been that way since middle school. And it will stay that way until I die. I think it's hard for girl bands, I think, to be successful if they're not. When a bunch of teenage girls support something, it's often looked as like childish or stupid, because, you know, women aren't allowed to like anything without it being degraded. And I don't know, Little Mix, they just sing about so many important things, and it's been cool to like kind of grow up with them, if that makes sense. Like, I've been a fan for a really long time now, and to see their music mature and to see them grow as women and to stand up for the things they believe in, it's such a good thing for young women to see. And I think a lot of the times they're very discredited just because they're a girl group, or, you know, because they've sung about love. I think that's often a reason that girls, or that groups, I guess, or people will get crapped on for their music. And the last fact, 16, I don't actually have a middle name, but I have a second first name. I don't know if that's just like a quirky Filipino thing, because all my aunts and uncles, they have second first names, and I've never seen that in like anyone else, at least the people that live here in America. It's always been like the middle name, you know, not a second first name. And yeah, 16 is my last fact. If you stayed this long, or if you liked it, I really hope you enjoyed. I didn't film an intro, and I'm probably going to try and do that after this. I don't know how to edit, so let's see how this goes. But I didn't film an intro because it was so awkward for me. I tried to, and then I heard my voice, and I was like, ugh. And then I actually started like with my list, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I can just keep rolling with this, and I did. So if you stayed this long, thank you. If you're here, that means I got the guts to post this online. Ooh. I'm like sitting on the floor with the camera on my dresser, leaning against my clothes, basket of dirty clothes behind me, you know. But thank you for watching. Goodbye.